You can't have silver moving without gold moving. I think that ultimately silver does outperform gold, but we've not seen it yet. So, I think there's, what's the magic number maybe is 2100 to 2150 on gold. And I think once we get up to those types of numbers, I think you will start to see silver move.
Because gold tends to move first and then silver responds and blasts past.
That's right. And usually, a couple 100% difference, not just a couple percentage points. So if you see a $100 move on gold, which is about 5%, you'd probably see a 30% move on silver.
Keith Neumeyer is a major stakeholder in the silver industry, a role he enjoys as the Chief Executive Officer of First Majestic Silver Corporation, a mining company focused on silver production. According to Keith, the demand for silver as both an industrial and investment metal has steadily increased over the past few years. Keith describes silver as a severely misunderstood, often wrongfully described as the poor man's gold, but with way more value and uses than a mere alternative to gold. Keith believes investors who continue to erroneously describe silver as the poor man's gold just because it is cheaper ignore the metal's uniqueness and everything that makes it special. During a particularly insightful discussion last year, Keith discussed his outlook on silver, taking a deep dive into the metal's supply and demand fundamentals. According to the First Majestic CEO, global silver production by miners in 2022 was 850 million ounces. In contrast, the world consumed 1.2 billion ounces of the precious metals. At the time, the resulting 350 million ounces deficit was the largest deficit ever recorded in the precious metals history. Comparatively, the deficit for 2021 was less than 50 million ounces. In 2023, the Silver Institute reported a slight reduction in total global demand. According to the Institute, total silver demand eased slightly, dropping to 1.14 billion ounces in 2023. Despite the fall, total demand was elevated by historical standards, making the 2023 figure the second highest on record. 2023, in fact, broke the record for silver industrial demand, which grew by 8% to a record 632 million ounces during the year. The Institute reported that there was a lot of industrial demand based on increased investment in photovoltaics, power grid, and 5G networks, growth in consumer electronics, and rising vehicle. Both Keith and the Silver Institute expect the deficit to be even higher this year, with consumption estimated to go above 1.4 billion ounces and no expected increase in supply. We will now bring you clips from Keith's interview with Kitco News. But before we do, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications bell for more videos. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
I think that silver has just really struggled for the last couple of years, and it's hard to really understand why, other than I think there's a view out in the marketplace that we're going into a worldwide recession, and even though the supply-demand fundamentals for the metal look extremely good, last year the industry produced about 830 million ounces of silver, and we consumed as a human race about 1.2 billion ounces. So that's a pretty interesting supply-demand fundamentals, yet the metal just can't seem to get a bid, which surprises me. I've been talking to shareholders all day, and I get that question from shareholders, why isn't silver prices moving? And I look at copper as a bit of a signal, and I noticed that copper prices have been quite weak as well over the last couple of quarters, and I think that's most likely affecting silver.
What will it take for silver to get that meaningful move higher?
I think it's just sentiment, quite frankly. I don't think, the supply-demand fundamentals are fantastic. This year, the Silver Institute's estimating 1.4 billion ounces of silver is going to be consumed in 2024. That's an amazingly large number. We only broke through 1 billion ounces of consumption 2 years ago, and it's, that's a 40% move. And you're looking at two industries like the solar panel industry, the electric car industry, are now consuming about a third of the annual supply of silver. These industries didn't really exist for the most part a decade ago. So, what other, drivers do we need to drive the price up to $30 and higher? I don't know. I think the fundamentals are definitely there. I just personally think it's a sentiment issue. Yeah, I think it's probably government hoards. I don't think any silver gets exported from China, but I know Russia does have a large amount of silver. And they could be liquidating some of it for their financial needs. But the ETFs are pretty flat. You look at all the worldwide ETFs, and they haven't moved much at all over the last couple of years. They fluctuate small amounts, but nothing huge. So yeah, it's a good question, and I don't know. Maybe J.P. Morgan's selling it.
Silver's still the thing for First Majestic Silver.
Well, for sure, but don't forget, 50% of our revenues still come from gold, and gold is a very important part of our portfolio because it stabilizes the business. You said yourself that gold's at $2,000, and silver is having a hard time staying above 23. And then and we are obviously one of the more important names in the silver space. But to have that gold in our portfolio, it gives us that financial stability. So I'm glad we have some gold in our portfolio.
Keith Neumeyer predicts better days for silver, but that might remain elusive if the market continues to be so heavily manipulated and prices brutally suppressed. Keith estimates that silver's true price is in the triple digits. He believes silver should at least be worth over $100 per ounce. His prediction is based on the true value of silver and how it compares to gold. Historically, the silver to gold ratio has been 15-1, meaning it would typically take 15 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. Today, primarily due to the heavier manipulation of silver prices, the ratio of over 90, meaning just 1 ounce of gold will buy more than 90 ounces of silver. Regardless, experts like Keith are convinced of silver's uniqueness and the huge opportunity it presents to investors who keep stacking. Keith believes silver should be listed as a critical mineral. Critical minerals are metallic or non-metallic elements that are considered critical or endangered because of two characteristics. 1, they are considered essential for the functioning of modern technologies, economies, or national security. 2, there is a risk that their supply chains could be disrupted. Silver easily checks both boxes. Silver is used quite a bit for military applications. Missiles and torpedoes need large amounts of silver for the battery technologies that control missile propulsion, target acquisition, and recovery post-missile delivery. Silver is also used in very large amounts in solar panels and electric vehicles, both critical to the world's pursuit of green energy. The only thing stopping silver prices from going higher is the constant manipulation, and that cannot go on forever. Someday soon, it will end. According to Rick Rule, a renowned investor, speculator, and founder of Rule Investments Media, silver price manipulation has been an ongoing challenge for the metals industry for years, but things are about to take a very different turn. Rick has observed that silver has become a truly hated asset due to investors' expectations of where prices should be. However, Rick is certain that the suppression of silver prices is about to end, but probably not its manipulation as a whole. The renowned investor predicts we could go from suppression of prices to upward price manipulation in a few short years. Whatever happens, Rick and Keith both strongly believe that silver is a great buy at the moment, and everything that has worked against it in the past is about to begin working in its favor. What do you think is the true value of gold and silver? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments section below. For more videos like this, ensure you subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications, and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.